As a country, Britain spends more than £200 billion a year on food and drink. But a staggering £12.5 billion of that is wasted.
Goodness me, that looks prehistoric.
And with British food prices rising for the first time in 2 years, there's never been a more important time to save money and make your food go further.
As a journalist and a mum of 3, I hate the idea that I'm wasting food and money.
This poor cucumber hasn't even been unwrapped.
We're going to show Britain's families who are struggling to cut back on their food spend how to save money. By shopping clever.
Wow, bargain.
Cooking smarter. Boom.
That looks amazing.
You actually know what you're talking about.
And wasting less.
What do you think about leftover food, Archie?
I like it now.
Without scrimping on taste.
And I'll be putting super cheap food to the test.
28p per jar.
No.
Oh, together we're gate-crashing British homes.
Welcome home.
To deliver delicious, low-cost meals. Perfect puddings for pennies, classic comfort food as cheap as chips, and spectacular family feasts for less than a £5.
Tonight, we're helping a busy young family of poor planners fall in love with their leftovers and resist the lure of the takeaway by inspiring them with mouth-watering meals. And we're putting the country's favourite biscuit to the super cheap test. Plus, I'll be revealing the hidden truth about waste.
There are financial implications, there are environmental implications, but there are just social implications as well.
This is Save Money, Good Food.
The average UK family throws away the equivalent of 6 meals a week. And tonight's family are self-confessed wasters.
Where are we sailing to?
Meet the Robertshaws, Mum, Amy, Dad, Stephen, and their 2 growing lads, Archie and Harry.
Oh, God.
Juggling working life and 2 small children keeps everyone busy. So when it comes to food shopping, bad habits have crept in.
What day are you planning to have that on?
I don't know.
I don't plan as in check the cupboards or the fridge before I go shopping.
I think we're both lacking planning. I phone you and I say, what you got for dinner? And then I'll be like, don't really fancy that. I'll stop off at the supermarket.
They're often uninspired by the food they already have and are lured into the convenience of a takeaway.
We are guilty of having plenty of food in the fridge and still ordering a takeaway.
Despite some good intentions to use their leftovers, things don't always go to plan.
9 times out of 10, the leftovers you put in the fridge with your good intentions are going to go in the bin.
By being poor planners and acting on impulse, their food bill is out of control.
If we could save money on food, and I don't think we can, we could probably take the kids away abroad or something like that.
We've never been on a plane somewhere hot all together, have we?
The family need our help, so to find out where they're going wrong, we're going to investigate their kitchen and have a good old snoop.
Well, lucky for us, Nan Debbie has given us the keys.
She knows all about their wasteful ways.
Sometimes she'll cook food in the slow cooker and then they just won't eat it. They'll get a pizza in instead.
Right, let's have a look in the kitchen. Hold your nose.
Yeah.
Right. This is a sign of their leftovers mountain. There's stuff in here, I'm sure, Matt, you could have sort of prevented ending up in here with a bit more planning.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bit of pasta knocking around in there, isn't there?
Onto the fridge.
Right, let's have a look. OK, so there's a bit of spaghetti bolognese, pasta, bolognese there, sausages.
What I'm finding is a lot of leftovers that look destined for the bin. At least 3 meals so far.
But Matt, that's not even half of it. There's a second fridge hoarding a mountain of impulse buy disasters.
That goes out of date today. So what can we do if we're not going to eat, frankly, this amount of yoghurt?
Freeze it, make it into frozen yoghurt. That'd be nice. Maybe stop buying so many yoghurts.
Like Amy, more than 40% of us admit we're drawn in by offers, but it's not a good deal if it ends up in the bin.
Have you got some room for some more yoghurt?
Do I look like I've got room?
I have got some more. There we go.
Can't actually hold any more.
If you can't resist the offers, then it's fine to freeze yoghurt and milk for up to 1 month.
More leftovers.
Ace. Takeaway leftovers, they're the best. It's delicious.
We know they've already got plenty of leftovers in the other fridge.
Yeah.
So it's leftovers on top of leftovers.
It's about a week's worth of food without actually doing much cooking at all.
Although, to be fair, takeaway food left over is sometimes tastier. That's from last year.
Very good. Try it.
It's been in there for about 5 years.
There is so much food in this house, but most of it is heading for the bin.
Oh no, it's not. Matt, your challenge is to help this family love their leftovers and bring a spark back to midweek meals. You have to help create cheap and simple recipes that will be more tempting than a takeaway, and they all have to be under a £5.
No worries.
But you've only got an hour until the family get home to make your first meal.
Okay, I'm on it. Using only what I found in the kitchen, I'm going to reinvent them into a British classic, toad in the hole.
This is a great way of using up the sausages that too often we throw away. We get rid of 400 million sausages a year, and half of those are ones that we've already cooked, planned to eat, and then chuck in the bin.
Like these.
Leftover cooked meat doesn't need to be chucked out, but if you are going to reinvent it, then you'll need to use it within 2 days and reheat until piping hot. Next up, the batter.
I can guarantee one thing.
It will go lumpy.
It will definitely go lumpy.
A little bit smoother than
I
that.
guaranteed you would get lumps, and guess what?
You all right? Yeah,
There's
you're
a
right.
lumpy batter for you.
But you keep beating it. Right, I'll tell you what we need to do now.
Using leftover thyme, we're going to make this batter sing.
A lot of us end up wasting the herbs that we buy because we're not quite sure what to do with them. Of course, that is just throwing money away.
Hard herbs, like thyme, for example, rosemary, sage. If you bought too many, you could leave them on your windowsill and they dry out.
Literally DIY dried herbs.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop there. Thyme stalks are full of flavour, so they're going to be used to create a gravy along with leftover onions and garlic.
We've got a glass of wine here. Now, a lot of people have got this kicking around, and that's going to give it a real sort of depth of flavour.
Is there any concern about using red wine in a dish you're going to be serving to children?
None at all.
Boiling it off will remove most of the alcohol, but still leave a rich flavour.
What have you got in that pan, Matt?
OK, so over here we're making a little mash from carrots and swede.
Because of the popularity of potato, swede has long been sidelined, but it's great value and it's got a lot going for it.
It's got the delicious sweetness. It's full of goodness, full of starch. It's going to fill you up.
And carrots, of course, good value at any time of the year.
Yeah, absolutely. Bit of butter, bit of black pepper. That's it. We're there.
Our Swede and carrot mash cost 64p for 4 people, but a pre-made supermarket version would cost around £1.70, more than 2.5 times as much.
That is delicious.
It's nice, isn't it?
Really tasty.
Thanks, Susanna.
This Monday night meal, made entirely from unloved leftovers, came in with change from a £5 at £4.63. And just in time, Matt, as the family are fast approaching and they have no idea what we've been up to.
Hello! We have taken over your kitchen, I hope you don't mind. Matt has prepared you dinner.
This is all leftovers from your fridge. You've got flour, you've got eggs, you've got milk in the cupboards, you've got sausages.
I can make
You
it.
can do it? There you go.
Do you make it, Stephen?
No.
I could do it, though.
I think the trouble is that a plate of cold sausages in the fridge doesn't look very inspiring, does it? But all of a sudden, they're just reinvented.
What do you think about leftover food, Archie?
I like it now.
Food's a hit.
But the family now need to digest their finances.
How much do you think you spend at the supermarket every week just on food?
140, 150.
You spend £138 a week on food.
Just at the supermarket.
How many takeaways do you think you're buying a week?
2 or 3.
2 or 3.
And each time you buy a takeaway, how much do you think that comes to?
Pizza's 20, curry's 20, 25. Chinese is always
40.
40-ish.
Their typical weekly spend on takeaways can be around £80.
So a conservative estimate of what you're spending on food is £218 a week, which adds up to £11,336 a year on food.
Amy and Stephan know they're overspending, but we are well on the way to slashing their shopping bill.
So how much do you think this meal, using your leftovers, cost?
In theory, it's leftovers. It doesn't cost anything.
Spot on.
Good answer.
Technically completely free.
Free dinner.
Matt, how much did this come to if we'd spent money on this?
If we spent money on this, this would have come to £4.63 for 4 of you.
Jeez.
So 37p shy of a fiver.
Boom!
Yeah, and the gravy, you can't.
You can.
You can, you just did it.
You can.
Okay.
He can. And
But
you
you
can.
Yeah, there you go. That's what we need to do.
Yeah.
1 meal down, 3 to go. But remember, Matt, these midweek meals need to be more enticing than a takeaway and still under a £5.
Leave it with me.
Like many of us, Amy and Stephan want to cut back on their shopping bill. Clever cooking and thrifty recipes are one way to do it. But what about buying food at rock-bottom prices? I'm talking about super cheap food. I've set up a stall in Greenwich Market where I'm getting food lovers to taste test the UK's favourite biscuit, the chocolate digestive, where they're being served up 3 of the cheapest on the high street. First up, Tesco's, 44p a pack, with a chocolate content of 24%.
Come over to my stall, ladies.
Very sweet. Yeah, good crunchy flavour. Not much chocolate though.
Yeah, I was going to say it needs more chocolate.
It's delicious.
Delicious is a pretty good endorsement, yeah?
Next up, it's Aldi, also 44p a pack, with a chocolate content of 30%.
It's got a nice creamy texture, much more chocolatey flavour.
I think it's a better texture. It's less like sawdust.
I can taste the chocolate a little bit more on this one.
And finally, Asda, also 44p a pack, and with a chocolate content of 23%.
Tell me whether you can taste any difference.
It tastes pretty similar to A, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's quite dry. I don't really taste the chocolate.
That's quite nice. Very similar to the first one.
You definitely get more biscuit than chocolate.
So which brand did our tasters like best?
I would go A, B, C.
For me, B.
Your favourite biscuit? Biscuit A is from Tesco.
Wow.
B is from Aldi.
Yeah, interesting.
Biscuit C is from Asda. Aldi has the most milk chocolate content at 30%.
You were right.
My taste buds are accurate.
Mine not so much.
And your favourite, which you thought might be a branded biscuit, is from Aldi.
Oh, okay.
So the overall winner was Aldi, which has the same amount of chocolate content as the market leader, but it's almost 60% cheaper. On Save Money Good Food, we're helping the Robertshaws reduce their waste by learning to love their leftovers. Food waste in this country is a serious issue. Our survey shows 40% of us think we should cut down on our waste to save money. Recent reports show we throw away 7 million tonnes of food annually, costing the average family £700. Love Food, Hate Waste is a charity campaign waging war against food waste, and I'm meeting James McGowan to find out more.
How concerned should we be about the amount of food that we're wasting?
So food is a finite resource, so is the land that we grow it on. Population is rising, and so we do need to sort of, protect it. We can't needlessly waste or go on needlessly wasting food.
What are we guilty of throwing away most out of our weekly shop?
I think it's the cheaper foods. So we've got fruit and vegetables, breads, milk.
They may be cheaper foods, but when you take a closer look at costs, the money we're wasting quickly adds up. Stats have shown that in the UK, an unbelievable 24 million slices of bread are thrown away every day, costing us over £1.5 million. 5 million fresh potatoes head to the bin daily. That's over £630,000. And more than 800,000 litres of milk is being poured away each day, wasting almost £800,000. Just these 3 cheap items alone create huge amounts of waste and could cost an average family around £67 a year. So just think how much you might be wasting on an entire shopping basket.
It's effectively chucking money away.
There are financial implications, there are environmental implications, but there are just social implications as well. We're all in this together, and I think if we all do a few little bits here and there, the food waste problem could be solved.
One way of reducing your waste is reinventing your leftovers. And back with the Robertshaws, Matt's next challenge is to make a midweek meal that's 2 for 1, where the leftovers from one meal can be transformed into something completely different. And both need to be super tasty and under a £5.
Challenge accepted. I'm making shakshuka, a tomato-based dish from the Middle East. First thing, heat up some oil in a pan, add your chorizo, vegetables, and fry till soft. Turn up the heat and add cumin and tomato puree. Then add chopped tomatoes with extra water. Whilst it's simmering, make the flatbreads. Mix flour, water and salt, and then roll them out, aiming for an even thickness. Brush with oil and then heat on a griddle pan. Finally, crack 8 eggs into the mixture and cover for 4 minutes.
An enticing midweek meal to rival the takeaway, costing just £4.02. And on to the next dish.
That's right, I've got big plans for the leftover sauce.
So guys, this is a great way to beat your leftovers boredom, because when you make pasta, there's often some sauce left over.
What would you do with that ordinarily?
We put it in the fridge.
Then throw it away.
And then we throw it away.
Okay.
Not anymore. I'm going to make a prawn spaghetti with puttanesca sauce. Put the pasta on to boil.
And then we'll take the anchovies.
It will be the flavour of the anchovies that will reinvent the taste of the shakshuka sauce into a puttanesca sauce.
Even cheap shop-bought sauces can cost around 80p a jar, but ours is just 45p, almost half the price.
Add the prawns.
And the other thing you want to do is take the pasta from the water.
So you're not draining it?
No. So you want some of that pasta water to get incorporated into the finished dish.
We're using small frozen prawns, which cost £1.84. For an extra £1.44, you could opt for king prawns.
And that's it. Last night's dinner completely reinvented.
Nice.
This is my kind of dish, yeah.
But prawns are a luxury item. Can this dish really be under a £5?
So the pasta dish is £2.95.
How much is that?
£2.95.
£2.95.
For all of that pasta, for all four of you.
And as we've got so much change from our fiver, we're going to make a pudding.
Which is super speedy when you have two little helpers.
These lemon possets are a perfect way to use leftover cream. Just add sugar and lemon, and then stick in the fridge to set for 2 hours.
A two-course meal for just £4.88.
That's amazing.
Lovely.
Like that? Good.
Don't get too confident, Matt, as the biggest challenge is yet to come. For this Friday night meal, you're going head-to-head with a Chinese takeaway, but at a fraction of the cost.
3 different dishes. Chicken and sweet corn soup. We can do sweet and sour pork.
Yep.
And we've got some fried rice to go with it. Any questions?
No.
Excellent.
That sounds good.
Takeaways are Britain's £30 billion a year habit, and Chinese, the country's favourite. Amy and Stephen's habit alone can add £80 a week to their food bill. But can Matt prove that he and Stephen can surprise the family by making something just as tasty at home?
Ha! No problem.
The proof is going to be in whether it gives you the same sort of satisfaction, the same flavours, the same variety as you would order.
I think you can't cook the same as a takeaway.
That's the challenge for you, Matt, isn't it? To make it taste as good as the takeaway.
I'm absolutely confident they won't be disappointed.
Right, chuck all that in. Right, pork. Used this before?
Never used a piece like that.
This cut of tenderloin pork is great value, costing £1.60. That's more than 30% less than the chicken breast equivalent.
Delicious piece of meat as well. What you need to do with it, you see all this sinew. If you were to leave all this sinew on, it's going to tighten in the pan. And so you'll get a very, very kind of chewy piece of meat. So what we need to do is just get rid of all that white sinew.
But don't throw them out. Freeze them and add to soups.
In with the pork then.
Okay.
Okay, give that a stir then.
Add sugar, soy sauce, vinegar, stock and ketchup. And it's done. But of course it wouldn't be a Chinese takeaway without egg fried rice. And it wouldn't be a Friday night feast without pudding. So we're using the yoghurt mountain in the fridge to make New York style cheesecake.
But how does your version compare to the real deal? Matt, are you ready for the ultimate taste test?
And that actually tastes like sweet and sour.
Excellent.
That's what you were hoping for. If it was in a
Excellent.
plastic tub, I wouldn't have even questioned it. I would have thought you'd gone and bought it.
Please. There you go. Okay, very good.
And don't forget, we've been crafty with those yoghurts that were clogging up the fridge.
How much yoghurt would you use to sort of make this?
2 tablespoons per portion.
So a couple of yoghurts going out a day.
Exactly.
You could make this.
OK, Matt, you've convinced them on taste. But what about cost?
A fabulous feast for 4. How much do you think this came in at?
Probably £8.
That's what I was thinking.
There you go. Great minds think alike.
There's your change from £5
£4.99
for everything.
£1.25 per head for this entire feast.
Chinese for £1.25.
Tastes like it's come from the Chinese takeaway.
Yeah.
Do you know what we can do? Open up a Chinese restaurant. There's a good profit in it.
With just a little pre-planning and being savvy with ingredients, Matt's made a meal with puddings to rival the £40 takeaway for just £4.99. So over the course of the 4 meals, we saved the family £72.48 off their weekly food spend.
So this proves you can eat tasty meals without breaking the bank.
Making this dish, it was so simple, but you only need a few ingredients. I reckon 100% we're going to plan, shopping list, buy half the amount of food we buy, I reckon. And takeaways, we're going to cut massively down and we're going to save loads of money. That's the best point.
OK, so look, there's some recipe cards from us.
Thank
you. A reminder of what we've achieved, and hopefully that will give you inspiration going forward. So.
It's worth its weight in gold.
4 meals for under £5, each more tempting than a takeaway. To kick off the week, a classic toad in the hole with swede and carrot mash.
2 midweek meals for one. Firstly, a Middle Eastern shakshuka with flatbreads.
Then transformed into Italian prawn spaghetti.
And finally, a feast of a Chinese banquet.
If the family continue to cook smart and thrifty, they could be on for some huge yearly savings.
Which adds up to £3,760 off your food bill for a year. What would you spend £3,760 on?
Somewhere hot.
We'll go somewhere hot, far away, on the beach, put our feet up and relax and let the kids run around.
And you don't have to get there by just eating beans on toast.
I'm spending money.
Hi, it's been about 4 weeks now. As you can see, we've made toad in the holes, probably spending maximum £40 a week. We've had 2 takeaways in 4 weeks, and we're planning to keep it up for a long while and save the money and go away as a big family holiday for together. So anyway, so kids, what do you think of the sort of food we're eating now? Are you enjoying it?
Yeah! Yeah, the best dinner!
Say bye, everyone.
Bye!
Bye!